Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. That's right. We're back at it again. Let's see if we can get through an episode without some of the wild comments.
The best show for Chicago sports.
Little pause action. All right.
Yeah, it was a pause-heavy episode yesterday, my guy. What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building as well. We got to talk about a little insider trading information here. The price for Myles Garrett being revealed at the draft combine. Courtney Cronin talked about that yesterday on the Chicago Bears podcast, and we got to talk about, could the Chicago Bears pay the price? Very interesting. Very interesting. Also, got news late last night about Abdul Carter that a little concerning on Abdul Carter. Could we see Abdul Carter possibly slide down in the draft? Some of that injury news, and I'll tell you this right now. I'm moving up because Jordan JC.
Oh, yeah.
Give it a second.
All right.
The date's 2/27/2025.
That's right.
It's 7:03 in the morning.
It is.
And I have it on good authority.
What?
That Abdul Carter eats donuts while doing donuts. Bad guy. Can't trust this guy.
Yeah, bring him to Chicago.
Just let him fall. Let him fall all the way to 10. We don't need to trade him.
Bring him to Chicago.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bad guy.
Is that?
It's a bad guy.
Yeah, boy. Must have been talking to Cal Shanahan.
Oh, God. This guy hangs with Shanahan. You can't trust him.
Can't trust him.
Keep this guy out of the building of the first 9 teams in the NFL. Only the Chicago Bears can handle that kind of pressure. Hey, man, what's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. As always, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Need y'all go ahead and do me a favor and
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said. Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Somebody sent me a tweet yesterday, actually. I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to comment back on it because yesterday was crazy, bro. I don't like living on a schedule, right? But I know that it's very important. So I'm trying to get myself on a schedule. So I put a whole schedule together. And then 3 of the shows get moved on the schedule. And I'm just like,
oh, wow. As soon as you get organized.
Can we do this at 6? Can we do this at 8?
That's what happens. You get organized and they get unorganized.
I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it. Jose Contreras sent me this. Jose Contreras, shout out to you. Sent me this. Said UFC fighter at bantamweight. His name is Soo Young.
What? Come again?
His name is Soo Young.
Soo Young. Okay.
But can go multiple ways, right? You could go with the hit the like button situation that we're in. You could go with a R. Kelly song. All right, let's get started with the show here.
Okay. All right. Topic 1. Hey.
Shout out to the chat in the building. We got a Bears junkie in the building. Chirac fan in the building. M in the building. What's going on? Jake Grizz in this mug. Baki up in here. Noah P. Everybody dropping a bar down. Drop a bar down in here. Jimmy Hopper, our resident Packers fan who's always watching, lurking, and shooting down any ideas that may make the Chicago Bears better. Crimson in the building. It's Crimson, you dig?
Yes, sir.
J.R. Holly said, hi, Pat. Jazz from Australia. Love your show and dream to get Myles G to the Bears. There you go.
You're dang right.
That's
what
I'm
a nice dream. I wouldn't wake up.
Nova with the morning. What's going on, Nova? Andy G. Carter needs surgery. Oh, yes, he does. And we'll talk about that as well. But let's start the conversation here on Myles Garrett, because yesterday on the Chicago Bears podcast, which is a benefit of doing this show, I'm not going to lie to you, I get to talk to one of the best NFL insiders in the game every week, in Courtney Cronin on the Chicago Bears podcast. It makes life a heck of a lot easier coming up with certain topics for the show sometimes, because I just go, well, Courtney said this, so now let's go over here and talk.
We're going to replicate that.
Yesterday, she talked about, because I was talking about the conversation that Ben Johnson had about, how he's going to make these guys coach, how he's going to go out there and, we're going to adjust our system if players are worth it. We're not going to be so stuck to our playbook that, we're not coaching these guys. We want to be a team that does go out there and make, adjust who we are based on the talent of the players that we have. And I said, that sounds like going after Myles Garrett to me. When I hear comments like that, that sounds like you're going after a big fish or somebody who's going to force you to change how you call your plays or how your scheme works. And what she said down there, and I thought that this was very telling and really opening for the Bears here, is just having some informal conversations here and gathering what Cleveland would want. I think they're going to set their price at 3 first rounders. And if you watch the video, please go watch the video so you get the full context. I lean back like, all right, well, I'm out. Like it was like all right. 3 first rounders, I'm out. She says, but I think they would take 2. 3 is what they gave up for the Deshaun Watson trade, and they're trying to recoup some of that. I think they would settle at 2, and of course the and being whatever the ancillary picks would be after that, right? And we've talked about multiple times, right? If you give up the 2 first rounders, you're probably talking about a Khalil Mack deal somewhere in there. And so the question is, now that it seems like we know this price, and this is why I love the combine, right? This is where this stuff comes out. This is where you get all of this information. I don't know if you saw this last night, JC, but this is also some insider beef. Did you see the insider beef?
Oh, you're talking about with
Ian Cunningham and Schultz?
Yeah. Rappaport and Schultz.
I mean, Rappaport, my bad. Rappaport and Schultz.
I heard about that. I didn't know if there were words actually exchanged or not.
Oh, there was words exchanged.
They claimed there weren't dirty words or fighting words.
No, there was some words exchanged, and then there was immediate. Ian Rappaport was like that black dude on the phone meme. Just security.
Calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
Calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the
9. Jesus, man. Yeah, I heard that. I was like, at a Starbucks too, right? I believe that's where his dad owned the CEO or something. I read that that's his dad's Starbucks or something. I was like, hey,
I love it. I love it.
Not everybody came to pizza and Starbucks.
Let's get greasy out here. I love insider beef, but no, hearing that, right? Hearing that it would cost you probably 2 and. Are you in on Myles Garrett if that trade is available, with the caveat, right? And I think this plays into the Abdul Carter conversation as well. I don't know if you heard this yesterday, but Adam Schefter basically went on and again reaffirmed that, and he said it specifically, right? What you're getting at 10 is arguably the same kind of player that you're getting at 30 grade-wise, right? People are kind of putting all of these guys together, and saying that this is a meat and remember we did the article. It's a meat and potatoes draft.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. How they both pass away?
What happened?
I know Baki said it's real. Some sad news. Legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife have passed away this morning. That sucks.
Gene Hackman.
That sucks. How they both pass away?
I mean, I don't know if there was an accident or something, but
I don't know.
That is unfortunate news. That's unfortunate.
And his wife found dead in their New Mexico home 2 hours ago. Rest in power, brother. Rest in power.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's so all right.
Thanks for bringing us down there, Baki. What were you? what were you gonna say, my guy?
Well, what I was gonna say is that 3 first-round picks. That is a little too much, but 2 I can stomach, because are you saying 2 first-round picks and maybe are you packaging one of our players, or are you saying you're going to go back into one of the rounds and give them a 3rd or a 4th for another year? I'm fine with that. I kind of knew that would be the starting point. At least 2 first-round picks. I think we talked about where maybe in a dream world we could get away with just giving up a first, the one pick because we have such a high pick at 10.
Yeah.
And maybe packaging that with a player and some other picks like going into the next year. But two seems about right. That's a sweet spot. So I have no problem with that. Again, Myles Garrett. The name he obviously his reputation precedes himself. I don't need to say any more about what Myles Garrett would bring to your team as far as an edge rusher, a person who gets to the quarterback, not only creates pressure, but actually creates sacks and wreaks havoc on a game plan for the opposing team. So would love that, would love a Myles Garrett. And hey, as I've said before, Bears need to be aggressive and get in on any talks and discussions now that they know the price for him.
Yeah, listen, I think the knowing the price is half the battle. That's why going down there and having these meetings, having these conversations, I think does put you in a good position. But essentially, you're asking me, would I trade Myles Garrett for the Khalil Mack deal? Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it's not to say there's not great talent at the top of this draft. Now, it doesn't seem like it's being touted as that, but as we all know, right, you always find somebody. But if you're telling me that I'm moving, I'm making a trade here for essentially what the Bears ended up giving up for Khalil Mack, and you're telling me that I got to figure out the contract situation, all of that when he gets here, like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Because the Bears gave up a first-round pick in 2019 and 2020, a third-round pick in 2020, and a sixth-round pick in 2019 to acquire Mack earlier. I'm reading the article to acquire Mack when they did, right?
Yeah.
If we're in that ballpark range, let's have the conversation. Why not? Because to me, unless you're going to move up, there is no pass rusher at 10 that is Myles Garrett. There is no player at 10 that is Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett's your 10th overall pick. Oh, but he's a little bit older. He hasn't had injury issues. He hasn't been somebody who was slowed down. He hasn't been somebody who, and you're telling me Myles Garrett in a situation where he wants to win and what he's looking for is a winning dynamic. He said, right, I'm not looking for the money. I'm looking for the dubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, again, you're talking about going out and getting a generational pass rusher and not one that is like being talked about as possibly a generational pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett is everything that he's been advertised as and more. just to give you the low season for Myles Garrett in the past 5 seasons is 2020 with 12.
You say in the past 5, so that was about 4 or 5 years
down
ago.
year. Yeah, I mean, that's where he had a down year, a little bit down, right? Yeah, 16, 16, 14, 14. Do I think that's going to stop?
No. No, come on now.
Oh, but he's 30. 30 don't mean dead. 30 means that there is a limit of 5 years on this player, probably. Right? You're telling me I get 3 great years of Myles Garrett and 2 okay years. By the way, okay for Myles Garrett is what? 8 sacks? 9 sacks? It's not gonna die. Now again, depends on injury and stuff like that. Like, those are the things to me that I do think you could find interesting if you made a deal like that for Myles Garrett.
It baffles me that we're having a conversation and I see some people saying that, no, he's a little old in the tooth and he's 30 years old. He's going to, go into the latter parts of his career now. Look at the stats. Look at the numbers. Look at the way he plays. And as you said, he hasn't been injured. Like, it's almost as if we're trying to psych ourselves out of wanting the best of the best of the best. And this is what's so funny about, obviously us as Chicago Bears fans, we've been so used to just mediocre that we don't know what an all-time great looks like. Like, he can still play at a high level for a number of years still. If I can sit here and say I want Khalil Mack at 30 plus years old because of his output, and he just only had what he had. I believe he had 6 sacks
Lil
this
Mac
past
is
year, but he had
34.
17
Yeah.
the previous year. Like, I would still want that. I want the return of the Mac. So if I want the return of the Mac, you better believe I wouldn't want Myles Garrett. We have to accept that we want better. Exactly. Myles Garrett is a gym rat. Like, he is constantly improving and trying to perfect his craft. He's already perfected it, but he's not somebody who's a slacker. You can expect Myles Garrett to continue to stay on his game. And so, of course, you wanted Myles Garrett. It doesn't matter the age at this point.
You know, I said this yesterday on the show too, and I think that it kind of goes to what you just said, right? Like, whenever we bring up a top name, all Bears fans do is go, but what about this guy? Right. I brought up the possibility because apparently we are a team that is expected to have some conversation with Ronnie Stanley this offseason, which I'm all in for, just in case we miss out on Trey Smith.
Yep.
If I give you Ronnie Stanley's name and you say, well, what about this guy who's clearly not as good as Ronnie Stanley, but also is cheaper, still good, but cheaper. That is we don't expect to get the best. If I give you Trey Smith and your instant response is, well, Mekhi Becton's good enough. We shouldn't be living in the good enough world.
Tired of that.
We shouldn't be living in a good enough world. I'm telling you, you can get one of the best pass rushers in NFL history right now. And people are like, I don't know if he's good enough. What if we went and got Josh Sweat? That's good enough. Like, to me, that's you're in a different situation here. And these are the comments that I think, right, that it shows me that you're not listening to how we're saying it. You guys still thinking like Ryan Pace and his type of trades for Myles Garrett, LOL. Listen, the reason Mac didn't work is because Mitch sucked.
We had no offense.
Bottom line, Mac works if you have a quarterback. The reason Mac didn't work is because Mitch sucked. Also, Khalil Mack, Myles Garrett. I love Khalil Mack.
I can't even reach that high. Like, what are we talking about?
Khalil Mack has had one season near Myles Garrett's production. It was 2 years ago. And so, like, for me, it's not even a conversation. Like, if you tell me that this is an option for the Bears, I'd be all in on this.
Absolutely.
And it's not even a question to me. And I think that the funny part about all of this is if you feel the Bears are literally the trenches away, go get the trenches. Go get the best that the trenches can have.
I remember what your buddy Kaplan said one time when we were even talking about keeping Justin Fields versus drafting Caleb Williams. He said he was all in on drafting Caleb Williams. He said, why are people so afraid of chasing greatness?
Yeah, that's his thing.
And I'll be honest with you. You know, I don't agree with every single thing Cap says. I do love his commentary and a lot of his thought process. But with that in particular, that's what I would apply to this situation. If you're scared about the price, the $30 million, we just cut some people to get to $80 million. Why are you worried about paying somebody who deservedly should get about $30 million? Pay him and shut up. Like chase greatness, chase Myles, so Myles can chase the quarterback. What are we talking about? It equals greatness. Just, do you want this team to be great? We're going into an era where everything looks to be coming together. They finally got a competent coach. They got the greatest name on the market in Ben Johnson. He put together a superstar staff. You have a president that's about to be maybe getting the stadium started, rumors maybe. Then you have this situation where you have the money to go out and to get the best of the best. What are we afraid of? Chase greatness.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm all in on it. We'll see what the Bears end up doing now that it seems like we know kind of what that price would be. I think that it's very interesting, especially when you kind of hear from everybody around this draft that, hey, this draft, The guy you get at 10, you may be able to find that guy at 35, which is why, right? Maybe you want Justin Simmons. Maybe you want Armand Membo. How's your Membo?
How is your Membo?
How's your Membo? Hey, man, we're going to take a quick break and come back on the other side and talk about Abdul Carter, because, again, right, the conversation I always have is if you're willing to trade the world for Myles Garrett, what's your evaluation on Abdul Carter? How much would you be willing to trade for him? And he may actually get in a range where the Bears could trade for him. We'll talk about the report on his injury coming up next. Stay tuned here with us on the Windy City Breeze, the Morning Breeze edition. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Aura Music. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back to the Go Get Myles Garrett rally.
The best show for Chicago sports.
It's funny seeing people's reaction to Myles Garrett, bro. I'm like, we realized, like, we're going to talk about this dude. It's one of the greatest in history. It's like, no, I don't want to. Ah!
It's like, oh, man.
If you don't want Myles Garrett, might I introduce you to an Abdul Carter? Hit that like button, man. We got over two. Oh, hold on. We got to do the we got a little pumpage action.
What do we got?
We got over 100 in a check.
Hey.
Over 200 in a check.
Hey.
200.
Ah.
There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling? Oh, man. The conversation around Myles Garrett, I always think is an interesting one because for me, it's a done deal. But if you're willing to pick up the phone and make a call for Myles Garrett, would you be willing to pick up the phone and make a call for Abdul Carter, who there is a possibility now that he could fall down the draft after some of the reporting that we heard yesterday. Now, I'm not telling you that it's a guarantee, but it seems that tests today reveal that the potential number one pick, Abdul Carter, has a stress reaction in his right foot, and Penn State standout will need to decide soon whether to have surgery or not. There are mixed opinions on whether he needs surgery. We'll have to figure out in the near future. Carter's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, said Wednesday night in Indianapolis, site of the NFL annual scouting combine. Now, Drew Rosenhaus also said he does not believe that Abdul Carter will not be the number one overall pick. But I think there could be some concerns, especially when you hear about some of the options available here to Abdul Carter. Option one for Carter would be to have a preemptive surgery, have a screw inserted in his right foot, and be expected back in 8 weeks, Rosenhaus said. Option two for Carter would be to bypass the surgery, conduct his pro day, and prove to an NFL team that he doesn't need it. But what that does, and we know this, is it creates doubt. It creates doubt. Is a opting not for the surgery going to have you feeling like if you're an NFL team at the top, and I don't think it creates doubt to where he falls to like 12. I'm talking about like 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Does it create enough doubt that a team goes, well, if you don't have the surgery, what happens when it does become too much and then you have to have the surgery? Or if you do have the surgery, now we don't have you for, you talk about 8 weeks of recovery, going through the rehab and all of that stuff. I wonder if that creates some doubt in a lot of these teams where it's like, is that worth the risk with a top 5 pick? Even though, again, when you talk about blue chip players, it probably is him and Travis Hunter.
Oh, at the top of the top. Yeah.
At the top of the top. I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you see this hurting his draft stock enough for him to fall, say, to 4 or 5?
I mean, look, what stood out to me is when his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, told Rappaport that either way, we don't expect it to impact where he's drafted. After visiting with teams this week, he believes he's still going to be the number 1 overall pick, despite whatever sort of game plan they have for this injury news. Now, I'm on the fence with that because I think that's exactly what your agent is going to say.
That's
like
exactly
he's going to be
would
like, hey, screw the foot. No, that's not an issue. It's not like he has to run around on it. But my thing, like, what are we talking about? So of course, obviously that could, emphasis on could, impact his draft positioning from 1 to 5. And so, if he does say, you know what, hey, I'm just going to, showcase my abilities and perform at the combine and ignore the surgery, I don't think that's a good idea because you potentially damage it some more. If it's a stress fracture, you could stress it even more. You never know. You're putting your future in the balance. But then if you do have the surgery and you're out 8 weeks, okay, well, that means that if you want to showcase your abilities, then you would have to do your workouts at your pro day in order to kind of solidify why you would be the number 1 pick. And so for me, I feel like, yes, this is where the Bears can probably jump in and start having conversations if they want to go the young and up and coming pass rusher route instead of the Myles Garrett route that we talked about. And they're interested in going up for Abdul Carter. As you mentioned, blue chip prospects, that's what you do. He's one of the most very special talents coming out of this draft outside of
Travis Hunter.
Thank you. Yeah, from Colorado. So I think that, yes, that there's a conversation at least that needs to be had to try and move up into that 4 or 5 range. That there are a couple of teams that need quarterbacks. Obviously, Travis Hunter is going to be in that conversation as well. Maybe Mason Graham, maybe one of the edge rushers as well. And so, yes, in that 5 range, if the Bears can do that, and they have to package maybe some later picks, one of their second rounders to move up in a later pick in like say next year's draft, I'm all for that.
Now, see, the tough part is, right, it becomes the and or if you're talking about trading one way or the other. I'm all for trading up for Abdul Carter. But to me, if I'm trading up right now, the thing that I wondered first was, does this make Mason Graham fall a little bit more in the draft, or does this move Mason Graham up in the draft? Because I think as a defensive interior lineman, right, are you going to take him at the top of the draft? Is that somebody Cleveland could look at it too? They're probably still going Travis Hunter, who I think they believe is a top guy, although taking DB2 is interesting. I think that, you kind of start to look around and go, okay, well, does this fit? How does this guy fit here? Tennessee's at number 1. Do we see Tennessee possibly try to trade back and still put themselves in range for Abdul Carter, but allowing somebody to trade up in that spot? I think that's the this is where the draft gets interesting when you start to find some things out about here. But if you can trade up for Carter, to me, that is a conversation on, is it going to cost you too much draft capital for it to be worth it? And I don't know if that amount of draft capital exists if he starts to slide. Now, if this comes out that later on that you know, oh, it's much more serious. Drew Rosenhaus is downplaying this. This is something that's going to be a problem, which is why he may have to work out at the pro day and not opt for the surgery. I guess I can see it then, but like Abdul Carter is the jewel. He is the prize.
Abdul the jewel.
And all you need is a little bit of doubt a lot of times to move up and get a player where, yeah, maybe we got to take a little bit of an L in the beginning, right? Maybe he's not perfect in the beginning. Maybe it's going to take him some time to get there. But how many of those players that are heck, isn't that Myles Garrett? Was it what? Who was the one that had the weed mask on? Which is hilarious thinking back on it now.
The weed mask.
Remember he had no, it wasn't Myles Garrett. Was it Laramie Tunsil?
It was Laramie Tunsil with the ball.
Laramie Tunsil, you know, one of the best left tackles in football.
Yep. I'll take it.
A little bit of doubt can take a all-time great and allow teams to go, I don't know if we want to deal with that.
No, we don't like that.
And so that's my point in all of this, right? Like, I don't think there is an amount of draft capital for the Bears because you're in a position right now. Now, of course, there is a line, right? Like, don't go giving up 3 first-round picks. But you're in a position right now where you need that guy. You need that opposite pass rusher. And there is a clear divide between Abdul Carter and Mike Green. And I really like Mike Green.
I do. Mike Green is going to be a game changer, in my opinion.
I really like Mike Green. Dare I say, the divide might be Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack.
Exactly. Both can be. Both are impacts in the league, but one clearly is an all-time pass rusher. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Here's my question: compared to what we just talked about with the Myles Garrett trade, what would you think it would cost? What would be the price, in your opinion, for moving at least into that 5 range? Would you say it's on par with what Myles Garrett would be requesting back in a trade? Like maybe your 10 in next year's first and another second, or whatever the case may be? Or are we just talking about 1 first? We're giving up the 10 to move up and 41.
I'm telling you right now, you got to think about this, right? This is a different situation, right? You're getting Myles Garrett for that Khalil Mack deal because there probably is only 5 years left on him, right? So you're talking about 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, a 6th-round pick, because there's only a couple of years left on his career. You're not getting 10 years of a player. Abdul Carter could be a 15-year starter.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay. You're going to have to give up the bag. And by the way, he's the only player in the draft probably worth drafting up for. You're talking about probably giving up 10, probably giving up 39, probably giving up next year's first, probably giving up a third in next year's draft. Like, you're giving up a lot. Yeah, you're giving up a lot. To move up 5 spots, you dang Skippy.
We just better have Smith move up 5 spots.
Because somebody's going to look at that and go, but see, here's the thing, right? The draft capital matters if Abdul Carter sucks. Right?
That's
the
true.
Draft capital with Mitch only matters. The only reason we bring up the draft capital with Mitch is why? Mitch sucked.
Mitch sucked, yeah.
We wouldn't talk about the draft capital given up if it's a star, if it's a stud. You know what I mean? Like, and so, like, if Abdul Carter is Micah Parsons, which many people believe that he can be at this level, I don't know if I'm all in on that. By the way, just side note here. Over 300 in a chat. 300. Let's get over 300 likes on the video, man. Hit that like button.
Subscribe. Likes up, man. Come on, man.
Get them likes up, man.
No, I'm with you on that. Wow.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a lot more than that.
You're getting 10 years of a.
You're getting the start of a guy's career.
He got a screw in his foot, but he's a star.
Yeah, you're getting a guy that could alter the impact of a game for years to come. So no, I'm with you on that. I guess I thought that maybe a couple of really good picks could sway. Maybe Ryan Poles can work his Poles magic and trick somebody into. Oh,
By
see,
the way, hold on.
what's going on?
Side note here, right? Not another over, but bro,
What's going on?
I was doing the Bulls watch party last night. Do a Bulls live call. Tap in if you're a Bulls fan. Check us out on the Chicago Bulls Breeze.
All right.
Do you know Josh Giddey's nickname is the Slob Wizard?
Who gave him that?
Sideline out of bounds wizard. I said I gotta be stopped. This is on Basketball Reference, bro. This is on Basketball Reference. They also now are calling him the White Magic or whatever it was, the White Magic, something like that.
Sidelines out of this is a nickname he got before he got here.
Oh yeah, this is the name before he got here. Yeah, that was nuts.
Okay, right.
I saw that yesterday and I was like,
I'm not calling him that.
What we calling this man? Excuse me? Is that okay? Vanilla Magic. That was what it was. Vanilla Magic is what they called him. They called him Vanilla Magic? No, that's now a nickname on Basketball Reference. I don't know who's adding these nicknames. It's disrespectful out here. Yeah, anyway, back to the football conversation at hand. No,
Jesus.
But no, like listen, it doesn't matter to me. And maybe Ryan Poles can come in there and work some of his Poles magic. Shout out to him. Maybe he can get in there and get it for a lower price. Maybe he can get it for, this year's first and a future second. And we're sitting here like, oh my God, what a steal. If he can, shout out to you. But if you're telling me on the other side of this, I am getting the next Micah Parsons, I am getting the next, I don't know if he's going to be Myles Garrett, but Myles Garrett, right? I am getting the Max Crosby. I'm getting the Trey Hendrickson in his prime. I'm getting the Khalil Mack. Is anybody going to look back on that deal and go, oh my God, how could you have ever traded so many picks? No. Because not only do you have an answer, but you have the best answer. And that's what I mean with all of this, bro. Like, Bears fans are scared to go after the best. My problem with chasing greatness last year was you weren't chasing greatness at center. You weren't chasing greatness at left guard. You weren't chasing greatness at left tackle. You weren't chasing greatness at right guard. Mm-hmm. You were only chasing greatness at quarterback. That was my problem with last season. And that's always been my problem. I don't mind you going to getting Caleb Williams. I have the same beef I had with the same thing I had for Justin Fields, I have for Caleb Williams. I haven't changed. Y'all opinions have. Protect my quarterback. I've only been saying this since, Rex. Well, not really Rex. Rex was protected. Mitch, Jay. You know what I mean? Like that kind of chasing greatness is fine if you put a guy in a position for him to be great. You put Caleb Williams in a position where he had the voted worst head coach in the NFL, worst leader in the NFL, voted by many. He had one of the worst offensive coordinators in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Who didn't want to work with him by the end of it. He then went through multiple coaching changes in a single season. He went through the same amount of offensive coordinators in one season that Justin Fields went through in 3. Like you put him through all of that, and then you go, oh, but chasing greatness, baby. That's not chasing greatness. That's putting this young man in a position to die. And so to me, like when I say I want to go get Trey Smith, I want to go get Trey Smith because Trey Smith is the best that money can buy, and you got the money to do it. When I say I want to go get Drew Dalman, who I think is probably the biggest piece we need to get.
Yeah,
I want to go get Drew Dalman because Drew Dalman is the best center on the market. If Ronnie Stanley is on the Bears' radar, I want to go get Ronnie Stanley because Ronnie Stanley's the best left tackle. Are there guys in there that maybe could fit and be solid pieces? Yeah. Are they Ronnie Stanley? No. If you tell me I can trade for a piece, hey, could I trade for Max Crosby? Yes. Is Max Crosby a game record? Yes. Is Max Crosby Myles Garrett? No. If Myles Garrett is out there, go get me Myles Garrett. And it's going to take some creative financing. It's going to take you working some things around here. It's going to take you moving some money in certain places to where we go, oh my God, they're going to absolutely suck one season. Look how the Rams are doing it. And you got to get smart. And yes, this year it seems like they're blowing everything up, right? And we'll see kind of how that works for them. But you got a Super Bowl out of it. You were one play away from going to the NFC title game yet again. You've been a perennial playoff team. You've had multiple winning seasons. And now you're getting to the point where Matthew Stafford is old, so you don't want to pay him. Cooper Kupp is getting old, so you don't want to pay him. You have the head coach in place who everybody is just like, oh, he's phenomenal. Look at this guy. He can make anybody work. I don't know if he can. We'll see. Is he Shanahan? Is he Shanahan? I have it on good authority.
I have it on good authority. All right.
And, this guy's pretty good. But now they're getting ready to change all of this stuff around. You know what I mean? But like for the most part, to me, like it's okay to go out and spend money. Good teams don't have money. Good teams don't have $100 million in cap space. They just don't. The Chiefs got like 11 cents to spend.
Travis, come on back. Oh, crap.
Trey Smith. They are optimistic. They're going to get Trey Smith back, and they're going to make some creative cap space things work. But like,
put them under the table deal. Okay.
A little something. We'll make a little something action. We'll make you an owner. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's that.
The Hunts. Got it. Okay. All right.
That's my opinion on it. We've gone for the other guy so often. Go after the best. Don't be scared to go after the best.
And I think that's what the theme is of this entire episode is no matter if we're going for the best in free agency or if we can move ourselves or position ourselves in a way to try and get one of the best prospects of this year in Abdul Carter and go up a few spots, be willing to have the conversation. Yeah. Just don't sit there and be like, well, we'll pass. Like you said, good enough is good enough. Let's change the mentality. Let's change the mindset, Bears fans, of not being scared to attack for the best of the best. And I heard somebody say, well, I think it was even Baki. I think we're so used to, let's just say we do get the best of the best. We want the excuse of saying, well, we tried to do it, and if it didn't work, now we're saying, well, look at what we did. We put all of our eggs in one basket. I'm fine with putting all of our eggs in one basket if it means going for Myles Garrett. I'm fine with putting all of our eggs in one basket going for Abdul Carter. Like, what are we talking about? That to me is exactly what a big organization should be doing. That to me is going to represent or define change with this organization in the city. And I guarantee you, if it works, none of us are going to be complaining about how many draft picks we gave up, or the capital, or how much money we paid Myles Garrett. Yeah. If it's turning into wins, playoff victories, and eventually a win to a Super Bowl or a trip to a Super Bowl, like that's the outcome.
Yeah, I think comments like this, right, are the like using cap space and draft picks. You need to fix the O-line on an edge rush is insane. Nothing Myles Garrett could do would make up for the amount of sacks Caleb would take. Nobody said don't go spend money on the offensive line. Nobody said don't go get Drew Dahlman.
You can do both. We don't have $50 million
I said this multiple times. This is an and off season. This is not a or off season. You don't get one or the other. Yeah, $80 million to spend. You spend 34 of it, 35 of it on Myles Garrett. And then I'm going to go spend 18 of it on Drew Dahlman. Then if I can, I'm going to go spend 24 of it on Trey Smith. And then I got to fill out my team with some of the ancillary pieces there, add some of the depth pieces in there. You got money.
Yeah.
You want to know what I'm sick of having? Money. You want to know why we got money?
Spend it.
These mugs suck.
Take it. Take my money. Goodness.
I'm sick of having money. Every year. Oh, the Bears got $700 million in cap space. You know why? Because I got nobody on the offensive line.
They got nobody on the team with that money. Let's just
the second cheapest offensive line in football at $23 million. Then cut 10 of it.
It's $700 million.
Sick of having money. Money mean you ain't winning.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Now you got to spend the money, right? I ain't saying just go throw money out there. Oh, we got players, baby. But like,
With 700 million, he can do a lot of that.
Yeah, that cap really went up, didn't it?
Oh boy. Thank goodness.
That's how Joe will be playing that GM game. It's
You know who I'd pay 30 million with that money? Tory Taylor.
You bet.
Yes. 30 million to Tory.
Oh, man. Hey, man, we're going to get up out of here. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. Let us know how you guys feel, of course, in the comments here on the side. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily, the Morning Breeze edition. We'll be back later today with, I believe, the full crew in studio for the first time in a couple weeks here, at least. I mean, at least since the wrestling match on the fourth floor.
That's right. I forgot about that already.
You.
Bro, epic. All time epic moment.
Oh, appreciate Brandon Green. Pay the kicker.
That's right. You doggone right. Pay the kicker.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all for showing love. Y'all stay safe out there in Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
That man said 700 million. Everybody.
Got all this goddamn cap space at the end of every year. That's why we beat our chest about they got cap space. Had cap space last year. Watched 17 sinners walk by and
kept Coleman Shelton.
Kept Coleman Shelton as he's getting thrown around like a rag doll.